Hello, this is AstrologyNewsReport.com with your hosts, David Anton Savage and Ron Berger.
Now we go to our third segment of this week's report, People in the News, where we will analyze the Vedic astrology birth chart of a newsworthy person, place, or event.
This week we've decided to analyze the birth chart of Monica Lewinsky, whose essay in the May edition of Vanity Fair, titled Shame and Survival, has definitely stirred things up on the media front and rekindled a story that once gripped America and made headline news across the planet.
We will take a look at her infamous notoriety starting in 1995 and include some comparison of her chart with Bill Clinton's. And then we will take a look at why she has resurfaced.
Monica Lewinsky was born on Monday, July 23rd, 1973 in San Francisco, California at 21 minutes past noon.
Ms. Lewinsky is a Virgo rising person, a sign very much attuned to being good with the details. The ruler of her first house, Mercury, is conjunct the Sun, the planet of power and authority, and in the 11th house of friends, gains, and associates.
Which served her well at the age of 22, when she was at the end of her Sun major period. She got an internship at the White House in July of 1995 with Chief of Staff Leon Panetta through the assistance of a family connection.
And it did not take long before she attained a paid position in December of that year in the White House Office of Legislative Affairs.
But the seeds of what would become one of the biggest sex scandals in U.S. history were apparently already being sown.
Yes, David, because according to Ms. Lewinsky, she says that she had 9 sexual encounters with the then-President Bill Clinton between November of 1995 through March of 1997.
This begs the obvious astrological question: what are the planetary patterns for clandestine sexual activity?
Well, I have to say that her chart does have quite a lot of indications for that, and scandal and humiliation.
Yes, it sure looks like a highly charged combination of effects.
Her moon, which also signifies for the public, is in the 8th house of secrets and investigations, and which is therefore the house of things you should not do.
Oh, that same moon is the ruler of 11th house of gains and rewards, which, by its placement, then indicates the promise of a payoff from dubious or illicit actions.
And to top it off, that karma was delivered during her moon major period, which started in the spring of 1996.
Take a look at Bill Clinton's chart, and it's easy to see that these two have a lot in common. Both are Virgo risings, and both have the moon in the infamous 8th house position.
And there are some other interesting connections. For starters, notice that her Venus is in the 12th house of pleasures, and that is conjunct his natal Sun, which is also in the 12th house of pleasures. And the 12th house is the house of hidden actions as well.
Yeah, now that would spark some mutual interest, wouldn't it?
Furthermore, besides any connection between their charts, both charts show up a lot of passion. Neither of them are cold fish by any stretch of the imagination.
I noticed that, as well, each of them has Mars, the planet of passion, on the 1-7 axis. This bumps up the energy dynamic in the relationship arena of life.
Yes, there's plenty of evidence for the fireworks of pleasure and passion.
Now, she has been off the radar for a number of years recently, but has just suddenly come back into the news. She is being paid to write a tell-all book, so what's going on?
Well, her 7 years of the Mars major period activated her 8th house, and therefore clandestine actions. But it's in the 7th house, which is far off distant places. So she has been in Europe until recently. But as of this April, Ms. Lewinsky began her Rahu major period.
Dun dun dun! Rahu, the planet of transformation, is activated in her fourth house of foundational comfort and resolution. Her need for satisfaction and resolution from the past has brought her out of hiding, topics which she addresses in her Vanity Fair article.
Also, notice that Jupiter has been transiting in her 10th house of public actions and recognition, and that Jupiter is aspecting her natal Rahu and giving the ambitions of Rahu a boost.
And shortly, Jupiter is moving into her 11th house of profit and gain. Reportedly, the advance on her book is $1.5 million. In any case, we'll be treated to another go-around of sex, lies, and presidential history, just as we are about to enter the next election cycle for the Oval Office, which sounds like it will be Billy's wife in the mix, certainly.
Before we all go assuming that this is going to have any effect on the 2016 elections, we'd have to say, as far as the electorate is concerned, that is also very far away at this point.
This has more to do with Bill Clinton's chart karma than Hillary's. Mr. Clinton just entered his moon sub-period of his Saturn major period, and as we have already pointed out, his moon is in the 8th house of scandal. It is his stuff being pulled out of the closet.
And does anyone seriously believe that the people who would vote for Hillary in 2016 if she runs will suddenly withdraw support because her husband cheated on her 20 years ago?
Yes, it's ludicrous. If anything, it may bring up some sympathy. Anybody stupid enough to use this during the 2016 campaign has my permission to give it a try.
And for now, it is lighting up the media hounds, but just take note, folks, Bill Clinton enters his Mars sub-period a year before Election Day, November 2016.
He has Mars natally in his first house, and he will be juiced up big time, which means he'll be on deck to fight for Hillary full tilt during the critical months leading up to the big day.
On the other side of all this, Ms. Lewinsky is about to have a fairly difficult transit starting this July and going through to January of 2016. Ketu will be transiting her 7th house of those who oppose you, the direct enemy.
This is where her natal Mars is placed and where transiting Uranus is as well. This is a dicey bunch of planets which could cause her a lot of trouble. She should be careful.
Yep. This is not the best combo for her coming up. And there is some potential for an event coming out of left field that is unpleasant, or at least disturbing.
And with that, we conclude this week's edition of People in the News.
Thank you for visiting astrologynewsreport.com.